Let's go to what I think you describe as a wee stooshy in East Renfrewshire. One of Scotland's top state schools has prompted a backlash from some parents after its head girl role was replaced by a boy. Now, Williamwood High School scrapped its traditional position of head boy and head girl a few years ago and replaced them with two gender-neutral captains elected by other pupils. But this time around, both posts were secured by male candidates, with none of the four girls who put themselves forward chosen. Now, a lot of parents aren't very happy. Let's bring in Susan Smith, director of the For Women Scotland campaign group. Susan Smith, hello.
Hello.
What do you make of this? Is this, I mean, this is, you can, if you take 10 steps back, they are trying to, in their heads, be fairer. They're trying to represent the peers. It's a vote. But do you believe it's sexism?
Yeah, I do, because if you put it into the context of what is happening in the world, in elections and in politics, there's this big drive for gender equality and for representation for women and girls. And, it's kind of ironic when you have all these measures put in place by political parties to try to increase the representation of women and girls, that schools are going backwards on this. And I think for girls in school, it's really important that they see someone higher up the school who they can aspire to. And I would say the same for boys, actually, as well. This equally could have gone to two girls, although it's less likely because boys tend to stick together and vote for their mates. But it could have gone to two girls. And I think that would have been damaging for boys as well, not having that representation.
Really? So you're thinking it's just because it's two people from the same sex. But to be clear, that the position of school captains is not new. It's been in place, I think, since 2021. It's just the first time that the votes led to the captains being two pupils of the same sex. So they weren't selected. They were, as you say, they were voted. They were voted for by the pupils within the year group.
Yeah, that's true. But I think there are all kinds of factors that can be at play when votes like this happen. And obviously, we're talking about people representing their own cohort within the schools, and there will be things that affect the girls and there will be things that affect the boys. And it's very helpful to have a representative voice on that. We hear all the time about the need for representation and the need for people to see that representation. And sometimes you have to try and swing it, and there's an acceptance more broadly. And certainly most of the political, it's ironic actually, because this has come at the behest of an organisation that is trying to erase sex completely. And it's really interesting because we see all the time what the effect of erasing sex is that girls often get
What organisation are you talking about? I don't know this.
So this is LGBT Youth Scotland, which advises schools they have to get rid of any kind of boy-girl roles in order to get their charter awards.
All right. Well, they're not here to defend themselves, but I mean, I'm sure I can get somebody else on to argue that what we should have is a million different categories of captains, from LGBT to trans to whatever. What do you think it should be? Do you think it should be boy-girl?
I think it should be boy-girl, because the biggest determiner of all kinds of things, especially within school, and one of the biggest areas of bullying and outcomes is sex. And
I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm just looking through East Renfrewshire Council's statement. So you made a statement about this being to do with LGBT status, and their very last line is, "It's wrong to suggest this approach to appoint school captains is in any way linked to attempts to gain charter status from LGBT Youth Scotland."
Well, maybe it was, but I mean, it's a fact that they are saying to schools that they should use terms such as head pupil and not divide it by sex.
Okay.
So the fact is, this is where this advice has come from. I don't know what their charter status is. It would be really interesting to find out. And we know that it plays a part in many schools' applications.
Susan Smith, thank you very much indeed. Let me just read this statement out, shall we? This is East Ren saying, across all our schools, senior pupil leadership teams are in place to represent their peers. The composition of these leadership teams varies. Many schools across Scotland moving away from a head boy and head girl to appointments of school captains to allow for greater equality. The process for appointing school captains at Williamwood High has been in place for several years, and following a vote on this occasion, 2 male pupils have been appointed for the year ahead. The wider pupil leadership team within the school will be made up of boys and girls, both boys and girls, to ensure a wide range of views are put forward. Then this other line, it's wrong to suggest this approach to appointing school captains is in any way linked to attempts to gain charter status from LGBT Youth Scotland. Your comments on that welcome. 80295 is the number.